Hey there folks, Champesk here, bringing a little audio commentary, and today we have a game between Elegant, who's a recent joiner of Team Panda, obviously of Thu and Infi fame, and against Sky, really a player we haven't had many games from in a very long time actually, and Sky obviously just picked up Gigabyte as a sponsor, so instead of being we.pepsi.sky, he's now we.gigabyte.sky, and Gigabyte actually have done a lot of sponsoring of Warcraft 3 stuff. And it looks like we're going to be seeing cross spawns on Turtle Rock, and it looks like we are seeing a very early scout here for Sky, hoping to see that Elegant is right there, but unfortunately he's not. And this is actually quite an interesting map for this matchup. The Warden is very strong on this map, even though it's odd because you wouldn't expect the Warden to be as strong as she is on this map because there's not like long places you can jump with blink and things like that, but it is just really good for harassing because the creeping is so unusual on this map. And we do have Elegant leaving this Ancient of War on this side, partially just because that we haven't had any scouting here by Elegant yet, so he doesn't know that Sky isn't in this location, and if that were the case you wouldn't want him bringing a militia and to pull the creeps up onto your Ancient of War, or at least if he did, you want it to take a bit longer, and you'd want him to have to run the whole long way around. And we're actually seeing Demon Hunter first, which is it's a perfectly adequate hero on this map, and it works very well at times, though I'm a bit more partial to the Warden on this map, and we are seeing Archmage first for Sky, just because Archmage on this map is pretty necessary. Mount King doesn't really work too well because of the creeping. It's very nice to have those water elementals out to do a lot of tanking, because these creeps are actually pretty nasty on this map, or at least the ones that are pretty reasonable are quite far apart, or quite spread far apart. And Sky, he has his own very distinctive style. He loves to bring up his early out tower first, almost regardless of matchup, which is something that most other humans won't do, at least till a lot later, unless you're maybe against undead or something and you're worried about skeletons coming in and doing harassment or something like that. And we are now seeing the Demon Hunter pop out. He will be able to kill off a couple of these remaining creeps, and the Archer actually already going to pull the creeps here. This is nice, assuming the timing works out. But he's probably going to do, he's probably going to bring out this Wisp, maybe to block the Ogre Warrior. I've seen that before used to great effect, and we're going to see if that's what he's going to go for, because yes, we are going to get that here. Oh no, he didn't get it quite far enough. Oh no, he got the other Ogre Warrior. That's going to do for now. It won't be the one that drops the creep, that'll be perfectly fine. Very nice play here by Elegant, who's just doing this creeping while taking as little damage as possible. Very smart. Meanwhile, we've actually had a farm put up here by Sky. Interesting placement there, and Sky doing some creeping of his own. He's already creeped out this camp here, picked up a Gloves of Haste, and now he can creep out this camp without needing militia, because he has built his third footman, and he does have 2 water elementals, which even though they're low on health, it just means that you stop using them to tank, and instead you just use them as damage dealers. Nice play by both players here. Slivers of Agility, which is a very nice item for the Demon Hunter, but then also the Ring of Protection, less nice item, but I guess it's alright sort of for the Demon Hunter, just because often you're going to have a ranged army for a lot of the early part of the game until you get something like bears, because you're going to have either archers or huntresses or dots or dryads. All of them are going to be ranged, so if you want your Demon Hunter to be in the front line, he's going to take a lot of focus, so that Ring of Protection can have some uses. Certainly it just will allow you to tank for a bit longer. It looks like, ooh, look at this, Elegant actually built an Ancient of Wonders, presumably because that's the cheapest one to cancel, which then aggroes the creeps because they don't like buildings being built near them, just in case it's an expansion you're going to walk in, and that actually brought the creeps out. Nice try there by Elegant, but unfortunately it didn't actually do too much, and Elegant ended up losing that Wisp, which would have been nice to get a detonate off here, but still, ooh, look at this, Immolation being chosen the second skill. Nice choice here by Elegant, who's able to do a lot of damage to these militia. Sky gonna presumably try and expand here, getting level 3 though. That's very nice. Has he been surrounded? This Demon Hunter looks like he's in a lot of trouble. Gonna be able to fight his way out. Yes, he will actually get a lot of kills in the process, and he's still at pretty decent health because of that Ring of Protection, which I so often lambast as a not brilliant item, but in this situation actually it's working alright for him. Sky taking a lot more damage than he really should be here, and it looks like he's actually sending a lot of his peasants into the gold mine so that they can walk out quickly, but it looks like they're actually being stuck. This Demon Hunter getting a bit stuck himself, being forced to TP away, but having done a lot of damage and really slowed Sky's expansion as well. And what's the item here? Ooh, Robe of the Magi +6, fantastic item there for Sky to get. And I imagine we're seeing some tech here. Yes, the tech's almost done now for Elegant, and no tech here for Sky. Yes, so Sky's definitely going to be expanding here, but still building a lot of peasants, as he will be for a long time, because once you're on 2 bases, you need a lot of lumber production. There's no shredder obviously on this map, so it's going to take a lot of peasants to make up all the losses that he's had already from the Demon Hunter using Immolation as well. And so a nice hide here by Elegant. No dust, but I'm just almost certainly we do have Sky coming in to buy that dust. Staff of Teleportation being bought because Elegant doesn't want to have to buy another TP, and with these archers being run away while Sky is buying that dust, which he did actually end up buying as well, and Elegant now running in, gonna see that these archers, or gonna see that the peasants are about to start building, presumably. Meanwhile, we do have ooh, actually there was a surround there, but we did have the TP, as I said, and the pandas being chosen in second as well. That's going to be very nice for taking out these units, but nice split here by Sky, meaning that the immolation can't hit more than one of these peasants at once. That's very smart play. It's going to keep them alive for a bit longer, but Elegant has already taken out that tower, and the panda comes in, but he's already actually in a lot of trouble, almost being surrounded here. Will he get this round? No, it looks he does just manage to weave his way out, and goes for Breath of Fire there, and this footman actually is very low now. This Demon Hunter could try and run back and get the kill there that he'd probably be able to get out in time, and these archers now good to use hide, but actually immediately I think he hid for a second and then saw that there was dust on that archmage, so he just tried to run away, and the dust was eventually used, and the Steam Hunter now going to run in, maybe try and snipe this low footman, and good Breath of Fire could be gotten here as well, though certainly I think Elegant's harassing is over for a little bit, so as to whether or not he needs to get that Breath of Fire, it's not too certain. Ooh, it looks like this panda in a lot of trouble. Ooh, nice attempt at the block there by Sky. It looks like he is going to get this round. Elegant goes for the straight out run, because obviously running behind this gold mine is suicide, so he went for the really only option he had, even though it was a bad one, and the panda does go down, though still he's only level 1, no staff yet for the Steam Hunter, though a shop is now up, and we do have 2 Ancient of Lores, yes, 2 Ancients of Lore going up now, as well as tier 3 now started, so we're going to see a couple Dryads out at the start, which is a very nice choice. Ooh, look at this Steam Hunter being so gutsy, because he has the staff teleportation, he knows he can get out if he really gets into trouble, and Sky's expansion has been so delayed. Sky hasn't been playing brilliantly for a little while, but certainly as of the last couple of weeks at least, we've seen a bit better play from him. A nice surround there by Sky, gets the staff teleportation does go off, but it's not in time, and level 4 now on that Archmage. Fantastic surrounds here by Sky. He's really, oh, he even got this one here, which I didn't notice, but even though it wasn't of too much consequence, it was very, very nice nonetheless. The panda is now back out, but you can't do much creeping with just a panda, especially considering I don't think there's any archers left either. Sky could go for a tower. Oh, there's one archer left. Sky could go for a nice little tower push now, really. If he just sort of gave up on the expansion, he'd have a lot of golden number he could spend on towers. He wouldn't have tier 2 obviously, but now that presumably there's maybe one Dryad out somewhere, I'm not sure. Abolish Magic is being researched, so certainly there's not too many units out here for Elegant. He's perhaps a bit weak at the moment. He is producing one Dryad now, and Sky really going on the offensive here. Could at least probably try and take out a lot of Lumber Wisps, which would be a very, very smart choice at this stage in the game. And I'm going to go for that weak Ancient of Wonders, which is so crucial, especially considering that we don't have Elegant at tier 3 yet, so he hasn't bought the orb, and he's probably going to buy a staff quickly here before it goes down, because that can be so useful. Yeah, he buys a Moonstone, ooh, and a Clarity Potion, but no staff. That's a surprising choice actually, unless he had one of his Demon Hunter or something. Demon Hunter has been tavered back, no staff preservation on it, and first Dryad is now out. Abolish Magic has been finished, so we will be able to start getting rid of those water elementals, but I think a couple detonates are really in order now. Dust being used, second charge there to get rid of that archer. Obviously you can use that dust quite frivolously at this point, because you're not going to need it for anything else against Elf once they're going in a bear Dryad sort of situation. And it looks like Demon Hunter now almost level 3, gonna try and focus down this Archmage who does have a TP. Hopefully we'll be able to use it in time, but it looks like one of these Dryads might well go down unless Elegant really makes it away. You can see the Archmage could turn around and get that last hit, but it looks like he's too much on the run. Will need a TP away, 16 hit points left. Will he be able to? No, he doesn't do anything to try and anything tricky. He does just TP away, and a lot of these footmen getting some Wisp kills, and that's a very, very smart choice there by Sky. Sky playing fantastically, and we're going to need to see a lot of Lumber Wisps being built by Elegant now that he's hit tier 3, and it's going to really slow down his bear production, because obviously each bear costs 80 lumber, and you have to pay for the master training, which he just did now. And looks like we do have this Demon Hunter back healed to full health, and only 3 experience from level 3. Really going to want to be getting some sort of kill, maybe on one of these low footmen. That'd be very, very nice. And using Immolation to get 1 kill. There's his level 3, and presumably he's going to be going for level 2 mana burn now, and then at level 4 he'll go for level 1 evasion. And looks like this Archmage has blocked himself into the back of the base. Is 1 mana burn away from being killed actually, but I think Sky should be able to run it back, and maybe, yeah, look, he has more mana than health, but I think actually no, he will now be okay, just because obviously heroes take reduced damage. So yeah, there was a second there I think he was at risk, but because mana burn was still on cooldown, he's probably going to be okay the whole time. And looks like Sky has his expansion up and running very happily now, and now can actually do his serious teching once he gets enough But this is insane. Sky is still tier 1, hasn't even started his attack. Meanwhile, Elegant is tier 3, but doesn't have an expansion. I think he's going to want to go for one right here. That'd certainly be a good choice. You don't want to be down on money, especially when there's no real risk in setting one up now, apart from the fact that it's going to mean that his army composition, or his sort of ideal 80 food army comes a lot later, but that's not a huge, or 50 food army I suppose, that's not a huge problem for him, because he knows he's not going to be able to take a fight, because Sky's put up a bunch of towers in each place, so he's just going to retreat back every time Elegant tries to commit to a fight, and he's going to force Elegant to take far too many losses, and that's a good strategy there by Sky, but certainly his tech is very, very late. And we do have a couple footmen now running in. Maybe we could try and pick off some more lumber wisps. Obviously these footmen are pretty expendable, actually as long as the tech has started at least. Yeah, the tech has started now, so these footmen do start to become very, very expendable. One water elemental runs in here. I'm surprised we haven't seen more dryads from Elegant. It would be very, very nice to at least, and we do have these footmen doing some nice harassment. Very, very smart play here by Sky, just keeping Elegant on his toes. These footmen are really good, causing nice distraction as well. Obviously we could be having some good creeping here by Elegant. Now that he has his bears out, he can creep really, really hard things and just use rejuvenation to heal up, and the bears obviously do a lot of damage as well, so by using these footmen to harass, that's a very, very smart choice, and looks like two of the footmen have gone down, and we do have a staff and an orb of venom eventually having been bought by the Demon Hunter, but I think it would have been useful if he had bought them a bit earlier, but maybe he just didn't think there was going to be a situation where he was going to need them, and Sky actually might lose one of his something here. No, he nitros it back just at the last second. Very, very nice, confident play there by him, and it's going to mean that he is going to be able to do creeping sort of a lot harder than he should have been able to. I think this is a clause +9, yeah, clause +9 for Sky, and he sells, oh wow, he sold a lot of items there. He must have a lot of gold stockpiled up, because he has 2 bases now as well, so yeah, he has 670 gold in the bank at the moment, and he's going to be mining very, very quickly. I'm amazed we haven't seen an expansion by Elegant, actually. Is he going to be doing this all off one base? It's really surprising to me. It seems like there's no real risk in expanding at this point. It could be taken out. Obviously, it's pretty hard to build something sneakily against Sky, but still, it seems like it's a worthwhile just to take the risk at very least, and if it fails, you can build a couple more bears or buy an extra scroll of healing or something. You know, Elegant gonna move in to go for the attack now, but when he sees this many towers, there's no way he's gonna commit. No masonry upgrades, but that's not gonna be a huge condolence for Elegant. He's going to be using rejuvenation to keep his heroes alive, and probably going to want to use it on the bears as well, because he does only have 4. You know, Archmage does use a staff of teleportation to get home. Level 5 now. Those level 3 water elementals are just such beasts. And Elegant is actually fighting his way through these towers, to be fair to him, to give him full credit. And he does have a lot of rejuvenations left on his bear, so he might be able to do a bit more damage. But I think he's just going to end up using up all his mana and not really getting too much for it. We're going to have to see. It looks like Sky, meanwhile, going to be sending his footman in to do some more lumber harassment, and that's a good choice here while he knows that Elegant is so tied up in this situation. Meanwhile, one wisp being here, maybe it's for detonate, although that seems very unlikely now that he has dryads, or at least the dispel magic research up done, so maybe it's like ancient protector or something. I'm not sure. Meanwhile, one of these bears at very low health does get rejuvenated, should go back into a druid form just so that he could rejuvenate up a bit more health. But we're going to have to see whether or not he actually goes for that in the end, because he was under attack by a footman, so he does need to rejuvenate up a bit before he does that. And a lot more towers being put down now by Sky, and that's going to keep him alive for now. Very, very nice play here, and Elegant going to run back a couple more of his bears, and we've seen some very nice microform. Meanwhile, look at this, these footmen are just going straight for the Tree of Eternity. They're probably going to be refocused now. Yes, they are, and the Panda's going to get a nice chunk of experience here. And but really, the big thing though is that he's been keeping Elegant busy while he's been doing other things. And the Panda staffing back in, nice choice there. The double staff combination is so strong for Elf when you can staff something home and then immediately staff it back once you've filled it up. And we do have tier 2 now done, and no workshop. We do have a blacksmith, so maybe straight for tier 3. Sorry, so maybe we're gonna be seeing mass griffins, or actually this is actually an alright map for the Demon Hunter in a lot of trouble now. Going to be taking a lot of focus. Is staffed away at the last second. Nice play there by that Panda. And this is actually a good map for tanks or griffins. Either one would sort of work when you're in the situation where you have a lot of towers up. But considering we have this blacksmith, I think it's a bit more likely. Yeah, we are going to be seeing these tanks coming up. Normally against Elf, you'd get the blacksmith a bit later if I mean, it depends. Actually, yeah, having said that, the Griffin Aviator is going up as well, so we're going to be seeing a combination army composition from Sky, who still has only about 700 gold in the bank. He has to spend a lot of money on sort of trying to rebuild towers and repair towers, and he's now put up an arcane vault as well, so he can now put up some towers cheaply. And the chief advantage really of getting the ivory towers, which is he's using now, is that you don't need to waste any peasant time on building them, because they build obviously without a peasant and at a very, very low cost. And it looks like a lot of focus could be going down from this one water elemental on these bears, but the bears under focus can just be turned into druid form, and then they have twice the health, and that's very, very nice there. And it looks like the Demon Hunter are now going to run in ahead of the rest of the army, possibly a bit of a mistake, or maybe he just wants to take the focus so that he can use Rejuvenation. No, he turns everything back into bear form, but he does have another one running in. Maybe that'll be the solution. 3 water elementals though for Sky. That's going to do so much damage. We can see these bears just being picked off as if they didn't have 1,000 hit points. And anti-magic potion being used by the panda here. It's a bit surprising. I'm not sure what the exact point of that was, but it's probably just to get so that the arcane tower doesn't drain his mana. But that's a bit surprising that he actually dedicate that to it and not just keep his panda a bit further back. Maybe he just really puts a high value on keeping his panda in the battle, even between Breath of Fire. And this bear is going to run back. We've seen such a fantastic job here. Looks like we did an expansion attempt, immediately quashed by these footmen. Nice play here by Sky, nice map awareness. As I say, he's just such an old school player. He knows all the classic tricks that that we're going to be seeing from Elegant. And meanwhile, we don't have actually anything being produced here by Sky at the moment. I guess he's just too focused on other things, and a lot of bears being put in bad positions now. Nice play here by Sky, building this one farm which is going to trap some bears into the back of his base, and now we're seeing a TP coming in here by Elegant, bringing this Demon Hunter back into the battle. This Archmage actually getting perilously close to level 6. We don't yet have a second hero for Sky, though I think a Mountain King would be very, very useful at this point, just to try and bolt the bears or heroes within the range of towers, so we don't have this nice micro we've been seeing from Elegant, where it gets units down to sub 100 hit points and then just runs them home. And we're seeing a lot of focus now going off on this Archmage, who is forced to run away. He does buy a Clarity Potion before he gets out of range. He's going to come straight back in. Actually, he wants to get some more Water Elementals out, because those are huge damage deals. And another bear being caught in a bad position and is focused down. A bunch more ivory towers being put up. Really, really Elegant doing a fantastic job of taking them down, but Sky just is spending all his money on putting towers back up, and a lot of bears have been staffed home. Will be able to heal up and come back into this battle eventually. And this mine has just cost Sky so much. He's just really been pumping money into it, and while he's done a lot of damage with the towers, he's really taken a lot of damage as well. And still nothing being produced from these 2 tech buildings. This is so odd by Sky. He's basically doing a one-man defense. He has produced 1 Griffin Rider now, and that's going to be very nice for him to do a fantastic job against those bears, but it is going to take a lot of damage from the Demon Hunter with that orb. Mount King is now out for Sky. Nice choice there by him. It's going to pose a real huge threat here to Elegant, who's bringing his bear back in. He's going to be able to take down these towers so quickly. There are only 2 up and no masonry upgrades still for Sky, even though he's tier 3. That's so odd. Yeah, I can't really explain that. Bolt goes off here by that newly built Mountain King, still with 0 experience, and the Demon Hunter being forced to staff home a lot earlier than he would like, and some militia being brought in as well. Nice blocking here by that Mountain King. Bolt goes off after it's on cooldown. This is going to be the end of this panda, and maybe Elegant is in a lot of trouble. We do have level 6 now for this Archmage, and that is so huge, because mass TP on a big map like this is so lethal, and still some footmen running around here. Sky's made such fantastic use of the footmen, and we do not have an expansion still. I can't believe that Elegant's been doing all of this on one base when he knew he had such a tech advantage. He had so much time. He went for the attack instead, and it was a great choice, but it just didn't pay off for him. I think an expansion probably would have worked out better in the end, but certainly hindsight is 2020, and I'm wrong a lot more often than I'm right when I'm criticizing pros. You might have thought I would learn. And it looks like the altar is being focused down now by Sky, and the Demon Hunter's gonna have to run back to try and save it, but I'm not sure there's anything that can. Wisp being brought out, but immediately bolted. Nice play here by Sky, and I think that these detonates could be very crucial here. We need to drain all the mana off the Mountain King so that he can't get more bolts, and that has been done here by Elegant. And it looks like this panda is still probably not going to be coming out unless Elegant can really do a lot of damage here. He's taking down the units he thinks he can actually kill, and still no repair coming off. Finally one repairing Wisp here, but it's just not enough, not in time. And looks like this altar is going to go down. We're going to have to see the panda being taverned back, but on one base, as I say, that's very expensive to do, and we do only have 1,000 gold left in this mine as well. So really, oh, look at this nice blocking here by Sky, really keeping the Demon Hunter away from that Mountain King. Very nice play here by Sky, doing so much of this blocking stuff that you don't actually see too much of anymore. But look how many bears there are still for Elegant. This could really be any person's game at this point. The Archmage coming in, he is invisible. He does pass a staff. No, ooh, he passes an invuln pot. Will is helping him run away. Oh, nice staff there by that Archmage. Huge play here from him. The bears come in, try and get a surround here on the Archmage. Will they get it? The Archmage does go down, and will Sky be able to stay in this game after this? I think really he doesn't have enough units. He's surely going to have to GG at this point because he's just lost his level 6 hero. That's going to cost so much to bring back, and even with this 2 mines versus 1, it's very tricky. A flying machine actually now being built. Not entirely sure why that's been done. It's not like we're seeing mass flying machines for flying machines bombs. An expansion being built but cancelled by Elegant. I'm not sure what his ambition is here. Panda being taverned back, and maybe the flying machine just for scouting, but I'm not sure how much he really needs to scout at this point. There's no invisible units he really needs to see, so I'm not sure what Sky's plan is here. It looks like, oh, maybe, oh no, it wasn't the buyback hero. He does have these Griffin Riders, otherwise it would have been possible just to run them back, and we'll have to see, can Elegant take out these last couple towers, as well as a level 6 Archmage and a level 1 Mountain King, which does actually have a staff of teleportation. It would be nice to staff into the back here to get off some bolts while being protected by the towers, but it looks like he's going to use it as an escape method instead. Even though this Archmage being focused down so quickly, Archmage does need to TP away right now, does get it with 5 hit points left. So close there by Sky, but it means he can do as much damage as possible, and actually these Griffins are going to be unfortunately taken home. Might have been better just to run them back and run them back in, but because these bases are so close, these Griffin Riders will be straight back into the battle. Still no animal war training for them, but it's not like they're taking a huge amount of focus. Anti-magic potion being used again by Elegant must just be to avoid the mana draining from the arcane towers, because the Griffin Riders weren't in the battle the first time. And a bolt goes off here, level 6 though for the Steam Hunter. No mana for Metamorphosis though, and this Panda with, or the Mountain King with no mana whatsoever to get any more bolts off. So even though the Steam Hunter is a bit low, he's probably not going to be able to do too much more for a little while. And it looks like this Mountain King is, Mountain King is in a bit of trouble, with the Archmage actually in more trouble, being forced to use a healing potion. And it looks like we are going to be seeing the end of this game, as this expansion is going to go down, and the last of Sky's advantages is going to be whittled away, and actually Militia being brought in. There's the GG from Sky. Oh my god, what an amazing game there. Elegant really playing from behind. He had the tech advantage, but just such a massive gold disadvantage, which is certainly much less tangible, and really he did a great job of overcoming it, taking some very aggressive battles. I'm very pleased with how aggressively he played. He didn't just think, right, I have bears, he has footmen, I can creep up to the 5-5 and then push. He went straight for that push when Sky wasn't expecting it. So I hope you enjoyed that game, folks. I'll try and bring you some more WGT games as they come in. Thanks.